Hey guys, it came in. The Earthworm Jim stuff box. So, let's open this thing. So let's see what we've got here. An 8-page comic of Evil the Cat. That was one of the earliest comics he had done. 24-page Bigfoot 3 comic. 4 different types of stickers. An Evil the Cat clothespin and a 9x12 black and white print. Well done. Well, here's the comic. Oh, and here's the Bigfoot 3 comic. So there's the checklist. I'll leave that there. Oh, come on. Oh, I think that's what they're from. You can barely see it, but hold on. From Cat Scratch, I think. Jim. The actual Earthworm Jim name. Up, and there's the print. And then, of course, oh, print says, what's her name? Evil. And here's the book. So expect a review of this coming soon. Or I might just edit it to get this together and put this in the review. Hey guys, StarCraft here, and hope you like my new lighting. Got a little fixture going on there. And today, been waiting for this for quite a while. Today, we're going to be talking about Earthworm Jim Volume 2, Fight the Fish. Doug TenNapel's newest book, of which, if you recall right, we go in release order. Bigfoot Bill, Shadow of the Mothman. Now, granted, this is the improved version that came out with Bigfoot Bill Volume 2, but I'm just counting it still for release order. But this particular one, way better than the original, and much thicker, more material, some of the making of material, and some added pages that help expand the story. Then, of course, there was Earthworm Jim Volume 1, Launch the Cow, alongside with the making of book. Then, like I just said, there was Bigfoot Bill Volume 2, Finger of Poseidon, which you can check out all my reviews for those. But yeah, we are now up to Earthworm Jim 2, Volume 2, Fight the Fish, like I said. And here, well, we also got some bonus books we'll be going over afterwards. They called him Evil. Yeah. Doug created Evil a year before he did Earthworm Jim, and as well as the preview book for Bigfoot Bill 3, Born Twice. Yeah, I can't wait to talk with you guys in just a moment. But anyway, so let's get into the main story. Now, just for a brief recap, very brief, this isn't going to be like the Bigfoot Bill one. Basically, in the first book, it's basically the first part of a retelling of Earthworm Jim, the first game, with most of the elements of, after skipping the New Jump City, as Doug said on my interview with him, that it was definitely like it's too much to be said on Earth and a lot of weird stuff that shouldn't exist on Earth. So, yeah, so he decided instead to jump into dealing with Psycrow and dealing with Evil the Cat. And he's made some major changes to Princess what's her name. For example, usually in the game and everything, she's the sister of queen slug for a butt. But here, initially we're told she's the adopted daughter, when in actuality then it's made very clear she ain't. You have Psycrow around, and Jim, his suit, it turns out when they sent it away, it is found by the space fairy, of which we will get more fairies, both here and in Bigfoot Bill. But yeah, she finds the suit and enchants it with some space, and with fairy dust, pixie dust, or whichever, and that is what causes the worm to transform into Earthworm Jim that we all know and love. Peter Puppy is introduced, more like a realistic looking dog, and we're also introduced to where Jim gets his name from, Farmer Jim. He's an important character too. But yeah, during the initial scuffle, hold on. Oh yeah, Psycrow bit Jim right in two, and was about to eat Jim's, well, his butt as he put it, but they were able to get it and bury the butt instead. Then during the adventure, then after dealing with evil, yeah, that part has actually dealt with Jim up until this point, around this point, where he's in hell for hundreds of years, although their time doesn't mean much. He eventually makes his way back up, and, well, turns out an evil had given the suit to Psycrow while Jim is dealing with a bunch of these worms. And yeah, Jim is really maturing as a hero by this point. But he realizes, now the reason why they want the suit, it can control a death laser that wants to annihilate Earth. Why Earth of all things? Well, again, we'll get more to that. But because of Psycrow's obsessions with worms, he then, Jim taunts him. He says, "I must eat that worm!" And he zaps him, incinerating Jim. But taking out a big part of the ship, and Psycrow is engulfed in flames. And when we next see the suit, there's no Psycrow in it. Maybe you're wondering what happened. But yeah, they are aware Jim's dead and everything. And by the very end of it, well, the cow was launched. But yeah, that's just a quick recap of where we are. So going into here, oh, the Mike Mignola cover for the backup book is the back cover. Nice. Now, much like a lot of these recent big-size books, we have some nice artwork. Here, it's Princess What's-Her-Name. And it's not too gratuitous, I'll give it that. We see her, her chest, but obviously she has her full jumpsuit on. But yeah, because we were set up before that, and the next level in the game as well would be involving Bob the Goldfish and his cat minions, mostly number 4, but the others. Well, we see a fish rocket coming right in. Yeah, they show up and they rock right past Jim's butt. As Princess What's-Her-Name wakes up. As, yeah, she's still very curious about this plane. And then she finds this little black dress. And Farmer Jim tells her she can keep it. He's kept it since his ex-wife just left him. And, yeah, she thanks him for it. He's telling her, don't be afraid. And I love that look on her face. Thanks and everything. And then he actually gives her a name instead of what's her name. He calls her Launa, I think is how you say the name. And she even admits, such a pretty name. But yeah, they basically go on the hunt as eventually, you see Snot, Peter, and Jim are praying when Launa shows up, and she looks pretty fetching in that. Although she's slurping the syrup. And, yeah, she still does something like she eats the food fine, but then she starts eating a stick of butter. It's like, hey, it's on the table, I'll eat it. And Jim's all like, if Earthworm Jim was here, he'd be laughing. But then all of a sudden the cats show up, and leads to a very nice scuffle. Her kicking one of the cats right in the cat balls and everything. And, yeah, they're trying to take her, they grab her and start, oh yeah, she realized that she doesn't have her bee blaster. This dress was such a stupid idea. And then Jim shows up, perfectly fine. Yeah, she's completely like, how are you alive? Oh geez, put my girlfriend down. I'm not your girlfriend. We broke up. Now I'm mad! Gotcha! Now again, remember, this is the bottom half of Jim. Regenerate like worms are supposed to do. And he basically doesn't have any memories from up to Psycrow biting him. So in other words, any of that maturity he got, especially when he was down in heck for so long, all gone. Yep, all of that, all gone. But yeah, he even gets this little toy car and uses it, and it distracts the cats. Movie thing! Movie thing! But yeah, the fight goes on fine until Bob uses his psychic ability to show him his fear, which is Psycrow, of course. Because he's just still showing such post-traumatic stress syndrome. When all of a sudden the plasma accelerator defense is activated, which causes everything to levitate. Unfortunately, gives everyone a chance to get out of there. But eventually, Jim's able to get him to calm down, and, well, it all deactivates. But yeah, they get out of there. They got Launa. Yeah, they probably got Princess What's-Her-Name, too. As they take off, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And, but yeah, even he's thinking, like, fish eats worms. Not goldfish, Jim, but he is... Basically, it's made very clear that, you know, it is where we start to figure things out. He's shown to be even more of a nervous wreck and terrified. You know, and then, Farmer Jim asks, what were you doing on the Queen's ship? Never been on the ship. To which Peter points out, Jim can't remember because only his head went on the ship. It was destroyed when the front section of the Queen's ship blew up. This new head must have come from his butt that we buried. To which then Farmer Jim points out, worms have two cerebral ganglia that are like brains. Somehow the super suit created a new Earthworm from the second brain. You're saying on my butt? The second cerebral ganglia must be where your defense mechanism is located. Your fear must and would naturally be more present. But yeah, like, how do you know so much about worms? I'm a farmer, of course. But yeah, basically Jim's trying to be tough. But yeah, that's a good explanation to why he's being more fearful and everything. That's where the defense mechanism is. And Miles explained why the other Jim was a bit more gung-ho and everything. He didn't have the defense mechanism to hold him back. Smart writing, Doug. But, I'll be right back. I'm back. Anyway, yeah, Jim is trying to prove he has no fear by eating the house. Please don't eat my house. And then Peter points out about, the old bee drone is still there. Meanwhile, you see Princess Launa. I'm just used to Princess What's-Her-Name, but I do like the name Launa. Is trying to ask the big question of, why are cats taking orders from a fish? Of course, Bob then yells at him saying, for years I languished in there, biding my time, empty of sort of meaning. Then my brain got big, then I took over a planet. And, yeah, basically... Yeah, she just, he's taunting her. Meanwhile, you see Jim and the others trying to get things fixed. Meanwhile, Snot goes up the little nose that he had come in from, which turns out leads them to where the power core is, getting it fixed in for Farmer Jim. But yeah, everything's good to go. And yeah, they start activating the ship, displaying a star map, pointing out though, they're trying to figure out where would a fish ship go. You have Planeta de Fire, Planeta de Wind, and Planeta de Agua. I probably think it's in Planeta de Wind. I'm kidding, it's Aqua. But unfortunately, the ship is just still too damaged, so they're gonna have to start, still figuring things out. And again, Jim is still trying to fight the fear, and Farmer Jim is trying to tell him, hey, just keep fighting it. But yeah, we eventually see the fish ship make it to the planet and go down where it looks very much like the game. With, all full of water and everything. Then I love this bit where Bob is being handed over. Here, take her to level 3, number 5. But first, I gotta go number 1. Yes? No, number 1. He's saying he has to go number 1. Now that I think of it, I gotta go number 2. Cat number 3, take the princess to level 3 so cat number 5 can go number 1. You called? Cat number 4 isn't talking to you. Cat number 5 is saying he has to go Never mind! Okay, that's funny. That is funny. But yeah, we basically find out that, yeah, they just believe in nothing but fear. As, yeah, she's all, welcome to your new home. And is given a jumpsuit, saying she's doing it for a favor for a friend, that friend being the queen, of course. Of which she contacts and basically is told, you know, don't let my daughter escape. You better hope not. If either of your prisoners, meaning there's someone else there as well. And then we find out how he basically controls the cats and makes it clear to them, friends are meant to be controlled. Oh, brother. Oh, just a second. I'm back. Anyway, they're starting to put the ship together. They decide, we'll use the power of your suit to jumpstart it. Sure enough, it works as Jim is going, groovy. Planeta de Aqua, here we come. As they take off, we find out Farmer Jim used to be in the Air Force. Nearly get hit by a jet, but they make it out in the spacesuit. But yeah, Princess is trying to figure out how to get out of there. Now, those of you remember my interview with Doug, he mentioned how the B plot is all about the princess. He wasn't kidding. We find out so much about her, especially in this scene. Although I love how she's kind of like, no blaster or no nothing, thanks dress. But still, it is still kind of lovely. As this mouse comes over there, like, what do you want? Leads her over to pull this loose brick. And in there we find out there's a woman down there. Hello, young lady. Ah! But yeah, they soon make their way there, finding out, yeah, there's nothing, you know, he thinks we'll firebomb the whole place. But they soon decide to make their way down there. We find out that Jim's starting to understand Snot, who's becoming more of a character here as well. But yeah, the princess is soon talking with the woman. Her name is Alara, and she's the fairy guardian of planet Earth. Now, if you remember, the fairy that I mentioned about that gave Jim his essence, basically, or brought him to life, that's in the same species. But yeah, she basically, Princess basically talks about how her. Hold on, let me do something with the light. I hope that's better. Saying how she was, you know, raised by the prince and by the queen. Found out she was, but yeah, she was taken. To which, then the woman starts to explain everything, and then reveals she's her mother. Yeah, she's found her mother. And then turns out she's been working on that wall for years and decided to finally do it and breaks it down. Mom? But yeah, they soon start to rework the ship to make it a bit more, the B-pod more seaworthy. Start closing things down. Start using the jets as propellers. But they're short on air. Which, if you know about your game, knowing that what's going on, you have the amount of air pressure. That's exactly like in the game. It's the water pod showing from different angles as they keep making their way down there. But yeah, they soon... I love this other bit. Now I hate the water. Did I say hate? I mean love it. I'm not afraid of water. That's why worms always come out in the rain. Worms come out in the rain because the ground gets so saturated with water, they don't want to drown. Ungroovy! Everything's starting to crack, just like in the games when you bounce around. There's this octopus that's trying to grab them. They soon eventually, everything is depleted, but they make it in there just in time. Old dog pot on poor Farmer Jim. Poor guy. But eventually, the Octo Guard warns Bob about what's going on. He contacts the Queen, finding out Jim is still alive. She is not happy. Basically, pointing out, oh yeah, he's the only one to stop, you know, that stands in her way. And then Bob calls her Queenie. She hates being called Queenie. But yeah, they soon, we see the guards running down those familiar tubes. As you know, they're still trying to figure out how to get in there, what to do. Then you have the cats start to come through, but Jim is very surprised that he's able to close the door and hold it as much as he can. So Peter tells Snot, make me look like a cat. And sure enough, well, it works. They buy it. At first, hold on, the fight is, he's like, I'm 370 and 27. Hey, I'm 327. Peter had to guess that one number that was already taken. But then he said, no, actually, that's short for 1,327. And they buy it. They lead him in, and show him the ropes and everything. They're soon able to find out where the prisoner cell is, and they head on down there. Go rescue the princess. Kind of Star Wars-y. Oh, they come across those weird blobby things that would always... Oh, boy. Those things were always a pain in the butt, but there's a lot of them. Uh-oh. And at first he tries shooting them. Too many for that. So it sends movement, so he uses the movie thingy. The little car, of course. And it works. Of course, Farmer Jim has to pull him out here because he wants to go grabbing for it. And Bob is keeping an eye on them still, saying, they're going to the prisoner level. Lucky for us, we could just put them in a cell since they'll already be there. I like the way you think, number 4. I'm so glad I took control of your mind and forced you to be my friends. Wake up, fellas! No more cat naps! Again, I just love the little jokes here and there that he does. We then get the origin of Bob as Peter and Snot load up an old video footage. She uses some type of fairy dust on his head that gives him a brain. And, yep, she leaves him in charge as he tries to take over the cats. Unfortunately, his abilities do not work on their own. So he has to squirt number 4 with water, and through that, his fear of water allows him to take control. That's how he does it, through fear. As the Queen gives Bob one piece of fairy dust to power his entire computer system, which gets Peter wondering, if I do it, maybe I can change. Bob and Jim make their way down there as he's constantly being taunted, and Jim's trying to figure out sarcasm. Yeah, basically, he's trying to make say, give me your suit. Jim, I think he wants your overalls. No, I think he wants your super suit. He then punches the screen and saying, I think I killed him. No, that was just a monitor. As, Laura is talking with her mother, who says, I knew the Queen had to remove me from the Earth before she could take it over, so I hid among the mortals, trying to pass off as one of them. That's what I was going to do. Basically then revealed, fell in love with an Earthman, married him, and the Queen took her away. Her husband never knew. And then she found out she was with child, which is what the princess, who was then, she was then taken away. And yeah, also made it very clear she's part fairy, which is very interesting. Then we find out how to become a water planet. They used a wormhole and dumped a whole lot of water from another planet. Because of that, all the cats were terrified, and thus Bob was able to take them under control. In other words, the water planet level is also he can control the cats. So Peter decides, I'm going to take that fairy dust and use it on me. Hopefully, because he's hoping it could cure him of being a monster. So he starts to change until, as again, I talked to him about it on my interview, he becomes more like his cartoon self. And he's like, I mutated! So he's gone from a realistic pooch to a more alien, more cartoony pooch. As he grabs Snot and they vominos! As they try to deal with them. Eventually, they come up to the same room that Bob and the two Jims were in. So he tells Snot, make me look like one of them. All cool until he steps on one of them. And then it's like, I think I killed it. It was an accident. This stupid blob didn't want to be stepped on. Why was he just lying on the floor? You're all bad parents! As he then books it. They soon call out for the princess who's trying to say, over here! And Jim, turns out the suit also has a lockpick. They use that. They open the door and she gives them a big hug. But then Jim, when the cats are coming, just pushes them right inside. You're an unhero! Bob tries to offer him, give me your suit and I'll let you go. Bad chance, you're just going to give it to the Queen. But when they leave, Farmer Jim and Laura, they know each other. In fact, she is Jim's ex-wife. Although, more or less, they never became exes. He never knew about the Queen taking her. And Jim is the princess's father. I love that. I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but I still love it. But yeah, they're all happy, and especially Jim. But yeah, we didn't see Peter and Snot crawling away on the ceiling until but it turns out Bob and the cats are heading down to open the back walls, and they're going to plan on unleashing some creature. But yeah, that's pretty cool that the back walls of a prison cell can be opened up. Oh boy! As he's still trying to say, now give me the super suit. And then he tells Jim, look into his eyes as he takes over. And unfortunately, thanks to his still terrified of Psycrow, Bob takes over. And much like if you remember in the games, with the cats, they all have no irises. So they have to try and deal with Jim. As Peter tries to, catches up with them all, thinks, hey buddy, you will be destroyed. They're trying, of course, making, ask like, hey, how'd you do that? Where'd your shirt come from? Never mind about my shirt. And he's trying to, get him to stop. Yeah, we're fuzzy buddies. Oh, I wish I wasn't healed. I need to turn into a monster. Throws him down, and, well, apparently Peter is not as cured as he thought. As he still changes, as he's mortified by this. But yeah, they soon go into a big fight and everything. As Jim, even while under control, is still able to put up a good fight. Then he starts to tickle Peter, reverting him back to normal, and is ready to blast Farmer Jim when the princess stops him and then kisses him. And everyone is completely grossed out, like, ugh, ew, gross, splat. Hey, I'm eating! Like, yuck. And yeah, he's all like, we kiss. Groovy! That's for kissing my daughter! But yeah, now they're all, but because of that, he's no longer afraid anymore, and it's like, that's good. Bob can't control him anymore. But he can still control the other cats, as it leads to a big fight. Number 4 still holding on to Bob, and it seems to be a tough fishbowl, but we'll find out later. But yeah, they're still fighting out. Then they start taunting Bob, calling him a carp. Everyone starts doing a little dance. Weird, but okay. But yeah, release the hamster! Which, if you recall in the game, is, what you would use the ride on that would eat through a bunch of the cats. So, again, I love it how he's using the stuff from the games. But yeah, basically like, wow, Dolly! And yeah, he's trying to fight it off, trying to stop getting eaten. Unfortunately, he does, as he follows his way inside the mouth. And eventually, we have the emergency assistant, or EA, appears, which he's trying to help him out. But he eventually goes, you need to work harder in less time, using no creativity. EA, your way makes no sense. Electronic arts. That is clearly what he's making fun of. But yeah, then they start to make their way up, and they're almost about to go into the digestive tract until he suggests activate blind salamander mode. Again, if you remember the interview, he showed off one of the pages. We'll see that in a bit. But yeah, it turns out he was able to bring in the blind salamander mode as another costume. Hold on to your blasters, with your feet, and just start flapping your hands so you can start flying, which he does. Until he comes up on the villa, which happens in the game. Wow! Wow! Starts blasting at them as he's making his way through, hurting the hamster, of course. Until eventually, well, thanks to Bob giving him an illusion, yeah, he starts to see Psycrow. That's the page that Doug showed on my show, and I am ever so grateful that he did. But yeah, Psycrow is still taunting him. Again, thanks to Bob bringing out his fear. As Jim is basically saying, my friends are counting on me. I'm going through. Oh, boy. As he makes his way through, and it's quite clear where he's going to end up. I know. When did the hamster eat a blind cave salamander? Jim takes it off, and yeah, they're all... And the things are still going on. Although... yeah, I need to be distracted. This leads to one of my favorite joke. Takes a bit of shiny foil, throws it. Hey, look! It's look at the foil. It's entertaining. Shiny entertainment. I mean, That's an odd interplay of words. And shiny. Clever Doug. That a bit forced, but that's still a good laugh. Oh yeah. Wow, Daddy! Groove City! Like, I bet he takes control of the hamster and finally gets it to listen to him as he's showing he has no more fear. And then he sees this plug. He starts to realize what's going on, saying, "Take me there." Everyone's trying to run out of the way as the panther smashes right through. Water starts to explode on through as everyone's freaking out. This is why you don't keep giant hamsters as pets. I voted for the giant ferret, but no one ever listens to me. What? Then everyone's starting to get all sucked up at everything. The stupid earthworm's going to drown us. But nope, Jim's making his way to the plug, pulls it right out, and yeah, they're starting to fight off on it. Grab onto it, and whatever you can. Farmer Jim shouts. Hold on a second. I'm back. Anyway, everything starts to flush, drain the planet as it goes in a very cartoony fashion. And then Bob just starts taunting him, saying, "I'll just call the queen to flood another. I admire your work ethic." Knocks him right down. And with the cats free, number 4 comes up, sniffs him, and eats him. Everyone is happy, even the hamster who is talking. 3 cheers for Earthworm Jim! Hooray! He's such a groovy guy. Again, just the nods and everything. Yeah, they're celebrating, asking how to get up the planet. They're giving one of the fish ships as they're heading out. Number 4 shakes their hand, but as they start to head off, the queen taunts them and is still trying to call Princess her daughter, just yelling at her until it reveals about her parents. And the queen finally decides to drop the charade finally. But then Bob runs up saying her name is Launa as he breaks it. Of course thinking, I think I killed her. Jim. But then Jim is talking with number 4 and reveals that they're going to need some help regrowing everything. So, because they're one of the best farmers on Earth, they decide to stick around and help out and stay and help. Groovy! But then Peter feels so sad. He hasn't seen his parents in ages, and he's fearful of what they'll think about him being a monster. How can he be healed? And Alara says you should go to your home planet, Canis Majoris. And if you know that level, oh boy, you know that level. But yeah, they start taking off. Jim is now flying it, and because he sneezes, he bangs right into their statue, which causes a domino effect, ending this story. This is once again continuing to set the standard for my favorite crowdfunded reviews. The story just builds on everything. It's having more original elements than just trying to note for note the game and everything. I think we get more character expansion. This is basically like if you took the game and someone decided, let's adapt it as a Netflix miniseries of 45-minute episodes. That's what this is. And Doug has made clear there's going to be 5, so we got 3 more to go. And we still haven't gotten introduced to Major Mucus yet, or fully dealt with Professor Monkey for a head, among other things. So I'm curious where he's going to next. I really want to know. But we're not done yet. We still have the 2 bonus comics. The first one, they called him Evil. It's just a short comic. It was the first time that he ever dealt with Evil, who in this case is bad, but not ruler of heck bad. Basically causing a bunch of mischief for his master. Even reading his diary, find out just like I'm just Nito. The man's disturbed. Throws it out, and he actually feels bad that he had it destroyed. Of course, once his master finds out that he destroyed it, he's off to obedience school through a blimp. They make their way over there, and wouldn't you know it, through shenanigans, he takes over the entire school. Until at the very end, a note is given back to Wenzel. His owner comes back with getting a message saying, Wenzel, I hate you. I took the balloon home so that by the time you get here, I will have poured mortal oil all over your bed. What? No death threat? He got better. Nice short story. Very short, but I'm glad Doug redid this. Or not redid it, but, you know, reprinted it. But next, the Bigfoot Bill one. Those of you, check out my Bigfoot Bill review if you want to know where things... Sorry about that. Let me rephrase it. Those of you who've seen my Bigfoot Bill number 3 video, might remember, number 2 video, will know where we left off. Poseidon's in prison in Hades with the Kraken. The finger of Poseidon's been destroyed, and Bill and some of the others is head off so they can try and find a way in there. And the Judgy, the unicorn, betrayed Bill. Well, we find out that on board this truck that Judgy is laying there. We deal with Jersey Devil as he gets hit with toilet water and is basically sent back to hell. But then we get right off the bat starting to get the big twist as you see the colonel or whichever is basically saying, you know, try and get, you know, deal with them when they get there, because obviously he's contacted them ahead of time. We're gonna meet up with, but then with the fairy queen Diana, different set of fairies. She's talking with the plants, in this case Bill's father. Remember, the Bigfoot were ordered by her to change to try and deal with Poseidon. He then reveals that release the spores. Go for California first. Yeah, she's not a good person. And they just start putting spores on everyone, turning them into plant creatures as well. Basically saying that at last my plan has come to fruition. Let the plants rise up. The sea can no longer stop us. Yeah, so, yeah, the colonel, whichever, gets out of there. All these other people are transformed and just start becoming like plant zombies and everything. And yeah, in California is just being completely infested. Hey, sorry about that, got cut off. Just in case I missed it, I would say, look what happened in California. Hey, it's an improvement. But yeah, then we see Judgy's been found by the facility as he's been taken down. Turns out that's where all of the unicorns are being held. And he meets up with them, meets his kind of dimball brother, Zippy. Until then, the herd orders to secure him. Turns out, the general ordered, already told him what he did and what he did to Bill. Then everyone's ready to take off his horn. And he brings up saying, like, the old laws, we haven't practiced them in centuries. Your father brought them back. But then his father shows up saying, no, like, release my son. But sir, you said we need to follow the old ways. Take me instead. As he then says, break my horn. As his father's his son, Judgy's begging him not to. It gets broken. As we then see Beckner and the others are in are getting food when when Doppelganger takes on the form of Sharon, Diana, but with you know what I mean. But yeah, gives them a tell them keep the change. It's 100. I didn't love this gag. That hot lady just gave me a $100 tip. We agreed to split all tips. But yeah, then they're driving off, saying that was the only form I could think of, and we get a bit of a joke with Bill with ketchup getting splattered on Beckner. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this too. I did not expect that twist was Diana. I did not think she was going to be just as evil, if not more so. I mean, wow. I can't wait for him to start that up, and then I will back it. So, that's all of the stuff I got with the Earthworm Jim Volume 2. Again, this set a high standard. A good price for the book. Very huge. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this. Hardcover and everything. Glossy covers. Oh, and how many pages does it have? Plus, 2 bonus books at no additional charge. Just and a whole bunch of other stuff I showed off in my unboxing portion of the video. Just so much stuff. Again, Doug really set the standard, and he is just a high benchmark. And again, just the writing, he's a master of his craft. With writing, coming up with stories, characters, his artwork is phenomenal. Nothing misses a beat, and I just want to know what's going to happen next. So, that's all I've got to say on that. In a couple of days or up to a week, I'll be getting Monster MD, but until then, I'll catch you guys later.